Hi, today I want to show you how to put together the Flourish Tealight holder by Simply Crafty SVGs. Now I jumped ahead a little bit and we have panels in the file. You could either use these Flourish panels, the top panels, or we do have solid versions. So you can use, when you put them together, you can use these cutouts. And the smaller one goes on the larger. Or, I found out that if you didn't want to use that, that would be nice too. So there's other options with the solid panel too. So there's a solid set of panels that are smaller that are in the file. But we're going to start with the cutout. So all you want to do is to layer. I like to get the panels prepped before I put them on the box. And I actually will put them on the box before I assemble, not the box, but the tea light holder. So just go ahead and center it and be careful with the edges there because they can flip up. And then again, there's that little piece that you could cut out and put there instead of this, or nothing at all. That'd be fun with solid sides too. So now here's the base of the holder. I'm going to show you how to fold on the scores, and you want to do it carefully because it's really thin down there. You could make the holder without the space. It's really a preference. This just makes it a little taller and substantial for like a table piece, a centerpiece, I mean. In fact, these colors are for autumn coming up. I plan to put it on my table. So we just go ahead and we'll add the panels first. Just want to center them, or you can put them high or low if you like the look better. It could be fun if you match it up to the bottom too. Best you can. So the reason I like to put them on first, it's just easier because you can use the pressure against the table to adhere them rather than trying to put them on something that's already together and possibly bending the item. I can push it, use a lot more force when I'm making sure that it's nice and secure. I don't have any edges sticking up. And then we'll put together the base here. So we'll have it for when we finish the holder piece. So the way you do that, it's pretty simple. We're going to fold down those tabs on the end. And assuming we folded it really well on the sides, we're going to fold it in and align the adjacent side edge with the tab fold. And we'll do that for all four sides. So we'll just set that aside for now, and then we'll go on to the holder on the top. So we're going to add the sides of the holder first. So I'm folding down those tabs on that little side piece. And you want to glue the smaller tab underneath the edge of the middle of the holder. We're doing this first so we can add the panels. You could actually theoretically put it on the tab on the top too. I didn't think about it until later because you do have a panel that covers the top. So once we have these on, we'll add all the panels that we put together previously. Center them on each side before we assemble the top of the holder. So I'm just flipping over to make sure we get some pressure on the bottom there. Everything is all secure. And then I'm going to fold in these side tabs and these the bottom long tabs. And the reason I'm doing that, it helps me to see exactly where I should center it. And then we'll just add the panels. Now that we have the panels on, we can get ready to assemble it, but we want to fold the remaining tab edges here. So before we assemble it, we want to put together the little tea light holders that go in. And that's how they're going to go in and glue in. There's no need to have all the edges touch the pen. The way I put it together, you'll never see the gaps. It just makes it easier to put together. So I'm going to show you how to put one together. Go ahead and you want to fold it on all the scores. And this is the edge of the holder, the actual tea light holder itself. So you're going to go ahead and glue the other side. Match it up to the tab fold. And the tab is the one that has kind of an angled in. And the flat side is the other side. And then we'll want to add glue to just for the tabs on one side. I'm going to push them inward and pull the top ones out, and then slide the panel in and make sure that the sides match up. You'll have little gaps, but you want to press your finger down against the 4 tabs to secure it. There's little gaps, but it's really not going to be seen, and it makes it way easier, believe me. I tried different ways. You go ahead and you see that a tea light fits in there. So that's the second one, and you're going to fold it down that way so it'll be ready to insert. So I didn't show the third one. I'm just going to show you how to insert them. So go ahead and make the third one. So it's going to come from the bottom. You want to glue one tab first. You don't want to come from the top, just the bottom. You want to fold it over, match it up to a side, fold it over, making sure that that little edge matches the tab fold. And then do the same across from it. This just helps it make sure it's straighten across. And then do the final 2 tabs. And as long as you're using the standard plastic, the small and kind of a medium size tea light holders, it holds them just fine. So it just holds it up a little bit rather than having to put another box or something underneath there. And there's a panel that will hide those tabs. So you can go ahead and watch me and attach the other 2 little holders. So now that these little holders are attached, there's not much more to this. We just have to do a few more things. We need to add this top panel. You want to do it while it's before the top is assembled, so you can get the proper pressure. Make sure you know your glue and how much you can use so you don't saturate it and the glue doesn't come through on this top panel. It'd be nice with a embossed one too. I just thought about that, but I wish I had embossed it. So you want to try to center it so you can't see any of the tabs. And you want it should line up just perfectly in the center, but if you can't really see it well, you just kind of eye it, make sure it looks centered to you. That was a little bit off there. Then you want to rub it on the top, just to apply light pressure first around all the edges, and then you can flip it over and really add pressure from the bottom. And this is the benefit of not putting it together, because we won't see any of this, the bottoms of these. It'll be closed on the bottom. So you can see it fits perfectly. So now go ahead and we'll glue the side tabs to the side. So add glue to these little side tabs and then line up the adjacent edge to the tab fold. Just make sure you use good pressure to secure it before you do the next tab. Then after we do all four of these, all four sides, we'll secure the bottom panel. I always have a little wet paper towel handy just in case I get a little glue leakage, which I always do, so, or I get glue on my hands. Now, since I did this video, I did make the tabs a little bit different on the side than you see. They're slightly different. You probably wouldn't even notice, but there was a little pull from the bottom. It wasn't gluing all the way. So I fixed that. If you were concerned or noticed that, it was kind of pulling away from the bottom of the sides. And I just found out I didn't have enough connected tab there. Sometimes it's the little things that cause your designs to go wacky. And you can flip it over like that. You could have done that for any of the sides. I needed additional pressure. Then we're just going to attach a big panel to one of these side tabs first. You want to line it up, line the edge up to the tab fold. It might be a little tricky. You might have a better trick than I will. It took me a second here. But add glue or score tape, whatever you use, and carefully line up the edge, because you want it to cover the bottom as best you can. You just don't want the panel kind of sticking out, because you're not going to see the panel if you use the bottom base. So you want to line that edge up, and you do want to make sure. But if you don't use, like I said, the bottom base, you'll notice it, but you shouldn't notice it too much if it's a little bit off. Then you'll add glue to the remaining 3 tabs. And then we'll fold it over. So you want to have a goodly amount of glue, but not too much that's going to leak out the edges. But we want to be able to have it wet enough so it'll adhere. So we want to gently pull it over to the other side. And I'm kind of pushing in the sides to make sure that they line up. Once everything I can feel lines up, I just apply pressure on each of the tabs. And then once it's secure, you can go ahead and flip it over and apply additional pressure against the table. What's nice about this is I just wanted a basic tea light holder that would suffice for any occasion. And you can really put any paper on it, so. And you don't need to use the base. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility. So now we're going to add glue to the whole bottom of this top piece and carefully align it. Actually put it upside down, that's easiest, and align the base on top of it. So I'm kind of looking around the edges before I push down to make sure that it's aligned. And then apply pressure. Just kind of rub the middle, the whole bottom of it. You don't want to do too much because it's hollow. But we want to make sure all the sides are adhered so it's not pulling up on the sides, and that the middle. And it should be, you just want to double check. You can flip it over and it's good to go. And there it is. I enjoyed this project and I hope you did too. Thanks for watching.